How do I, 28F, tell my partner, 30M, that he needs to go to the dentist? I've been with my partner for 6 years now. He has not visited the dentist once during our time together, and I'm not exactly sure the last time he's gone. In any case, it's been a very long time. His breath gets pretty rancid, and often, especially, when we get intimate, it bothers me and completely turns me off. I have made comments for years like, "I'm making a dentist appointment. Can I make one for you too? Can you please visit the dentist, for me? I want you to maintain your health. Have you made that dentist appointment?" He said that he's scared of the dentist, which is why he hasn't gone. I've tried to explain that the longer he waits, the worse the dental experience is going to be. But he dismisses me and puts it off, which isn't unlike a lot of other things in his life. But he clearly does not get my passive-aggressive hints at it. I really don't know how to handle this without coming off like a jerk, but also I really need him to do this for me. I'm hesitant to just make him an appointment. BC, we have different dental insurance. IDK, who would be covered? Please offer any advice. I really appreciate it. Tia.
You just need to be blunt. Tell him you can't handle intimacy when he isn't taking care of himself. Tell him he smells. Offer to go with him.
You need to stop hinting at him and tell him directly. This does not make you a jerk.
I'm always shocked at the number of women who post here, and it's only women that I've seen, whose partners fail to engage in basic hygiene. It's never the men writing, "My partner refuses to wash her ass up." Dude is 30 and should be handling his own appointments and maintaining his own health. You're not his mom, and should really consider if you're willing to be his caretaker for the rest of your life.
I don't know how other than being blunt. I would suggest you find a clinic that can handle clients with anxiety over being in the chair. I have a lot of anxiety after an incident in my childhood. I'm currently being treated, and they are great. They've avoided using needles, which is what I'm scared of. They constantly reassure me, make sure I'm okay, and remind me to breathe and relax from head to toe. Dentists know clients get scared. Go with him for an appointment, or, better yet, get him to go with you to your appointment so he can watch.
Tell his breath has changed and it might be gum disease. He stands to lose all his teeth if he doesn't do something, as well as getting bacteria to his heart. Tell him the dental experience has radically changed and all will be well if he picks a gentle dentist.
How do I make a grown man do something he doesn't want to do? Madam, you cannot.
Where are you based? Can you find a dentist that specializes with nervous patients? Many do now. Completely different setting environment.
I don't know how you can even kiss him at all at this point. The amount of issues probably going on in his mouth. Yuck.
Yeesh, I hate coming off as a jerk, but you gotta be blunt and prepare yourself to reassure and comfort him if he gets insecure. Smell is a big thing for me, so I would get turned off too if I were you. Just gotta force yourself to say it how it is, but sandwich it with affection.
You've already tried everything you can that doesn't have you coming off looking like a jerk. Maybe it's time to be a jerk and give him some hard truths. Like how his breath makes it hard to be near him. Also like how dental disease can lead to cardiac issues. Does he potentially want to have valve replacement surgery because he's afraid of a dentist?
If the dude's girlfriend is not going to tell him that he has halitosis, who is going to tell him?
Honey, your breath smells so bad that I am becoming genuinely worried that there is a serious issue with something inside your mouth. I am going to make a dentist appointment for you.
There is a dentist who specializes in high-fear patients where I live. Look for one where you live.
Just tell him the truth, that the smell is becoming a turn-off and you're not interested in sex until he addresses it. If that's not a wake-up call for him, I don't know what will be.
Look into places that offer conscious sedation or anti-anxiety medication. Conscious sedation doesn't require a hospital stay. We charge $400 for it here in QC, Canada. For pre-med or oral sedation, Ativan's, it's usually covered by your drug insurance. It's a game changer. Sedation will cause him a short bout of amnesia and he won't be allowed to sign anything for 24 to 48 hours depending where you live, but I've been both on the giving and receiving end of pre-medication and it makes everything easier for everyone.
I doubt the problem is that he doesn't realize he needs to go. He realizes it completely, but is too scared to act. In the end, it's his choice.
Your breath has been really bad lately. When I smell it, I immediately get turned off. Please go see a dentist. Quote.
Stop dancing around it. He refuses to take your hints. Tell him he needs to go to the dentist because his breath is awful and he may have cavities or something that need to be filled.
I'm making a dentist appointment. Can I make one for you too? Can you please visit the dentist, for me? I want you to maintain your health. Have you made that dentist appointment? But he clearly does not get my passive-aggressive hints at it. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Those don't sound like hints, those sound very fucking direct. He told you he doesn't want to go. Have an open, honest relationship. Tell him, hey, I need you to do this, otherwise I will not be able to continue. Insert intimate action here, with that smell in your mouth.
This is a sign of a much bigger issue. This is a sign that he doesn't value himself, his body, appearance or his health. He'll also ignore it when his blood pressure goes up or when he gets signs of cancer or serious problems. He'll ignore it. It is a much bigger issue about him never facing his fears and instead running away. It is not about teeth. This is about his general view towards making an effort and adulting. Compare his teeth and health to car maintenance.
Oh my god, why do people wait years to tell their partner they stink? Just fucking say it.
You tell him to stop being a disgusting slob or you're leaving.
Yo dude, this is a no-brainer. Your boy's got a serious case of dental anxiety, but you gotta take charge here, man. It's not just about the bad breath. You want your man to be healthy, right? It's not a matter of being a jerk or coming off that way. It's about doing what's best for both of you. Here's what you do. Look into his dental insurance, find a dentist who accepts it and book the appointment. End of story. If he's really that scared, go with him to hold his hand. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. And if you're worried about coming off as a jerk, don't be. Just tell him straight up that you care about him and his health and that's why you're doing it. If he still gets mad, well, that's on him. And if he's still putting it off, you gotta be a little bit more direct, dude. Tell him that his breath is seriously affecting your intimacy and it's a real turn-off. Be firm but understanding and I'm sure he'll come around. Trust me, you're doing the right thing here.
Sorry, that's a child.
He obviously has a mental block or issue going on, but you're equally gross if not more for putting up with it for over half a decade.
Talk to your dentist. I bet they have some advice. I would also tell him kissing is off the table until he sees a dentist and makes strides in improving his dental health.
At this point you have to be direct and he is going to get upset. But there is no way around it. Point out his bad breath every time you notice it. Hopefully he will be embarrassed enough to get over his fear. I don't know, this may be harsh but you've exhausted the nicer approaches and none of it seems to have worked. It's possible to keep good dental hygiene even without going to the dentist for that long, but doesn't sound like it since he obviously has bad breath.
I recently went to the dentist after a longer time than I should have. I was afraid that I would be shamed by them about not having been in so long. When I got there it went surprising well, everyone was nice, no one shamed me. It was expensive but I had insurance. It wasn't bad, and my fears were unfounded. I only had one small cavity, and I am getting a night guard, and I had a crown put on. If he has the same shame I did about not having been, that is understandable. If he's afraid about the money, well, I find that really understandable, and you should have him call your dentist and get a guess at the costs.
Tell him you're concerned about his health and comfort and you want to help him through the process and accompany him if it's a fear. It is scary. You can hold his hand. It's very comforting when scared or afraid. You don't have to do it for him, but maybe get the phone numbers for him and sit with him while he calls.
At this point, you need to be more upfront with him. Let him know you're concerned for his oral health, but also that it is really impacting your intimacy with him and you can no longer ignore it. He needs to make an appointment. I'm not a fan of ultimatums, but in this case I feel setting the boundary that you will not have sex with him unless he takes his oral hygiene more seriously is an acceptable one.
There's a dental specialty for people afraid of dentists. They even get to use drugs like laughing gas to help with the nerves. In fact, call one in your area up and see what advice they can give. I'm sure they've heard every excuse before.
He needs to go to a therapist about this, and to a psychiatrist so he can get Xanax or something to help him deal when he does go to the dentist for the first time. This is a very real and very common fear. You have to address the fear first, and call around to find a dentist who specifically has experience working compassionately with people who are terrified of the dentist.
Be direct. Not regularly going to the dentist can have extremely severe and costly impacts on your overall health. His health is more important than his feelings.
You were kind enough to drop hints. Good on you. But he's not getting it and he will continue to make excuses not to go. I know going to the dentist isn't exactly fun or pleasant, but a grown man can't be using the excuse of being scared to put off his oral hygiene and health. He's not 5 years old. Time to be blunt. Honey, please go to the dentist ASAP. I'm concerned for your health. You stink and it's really starting to affect me when we get intimate. I want you to be healthy. Quote.
A lot of men just don't care when you just tell them. My ex-husband can be quite sensitive, and at some point his breath was just getting worse and worse, like even being in the car with him I had to put the window down. No way in hell was he kissing me. At some point I got sick of being bailed up about lack of intimacy, so I just said it. Finally, I'm sorry, but your breath is disgusting, it smells like you've been eating cat litter. He was mortified that I didn't tell him sooner, but otherwise unoffended and got right on sorting it out. So yeah, just tell him, he likely won't care.
Don't they have sedation dentistry there? He can go and they'll knock him out or give him anti-anxiety meds. This is a deal breaker for me and I'd tell him that.
Thanks to a dental hygienist from my childhood, I was scared of the dentist too. When I moved away for school and started going to a local dentist, I asked them at my first appointment if they could numb up my whole mouth and maybe try not to cause so much bleeding. They were so confused until I told them about the hygienist who used to clean like she was drilling for oil in my mouth. They gave me laughing gas, and they were gentle. That was the only time I needed laughing gas. Your BF needs to go to the dentist because poor oral hygiene can have serious health consequences. And you can try calling a few of the dental practices on his insurance to ask them how they handle patients with unusually high fear.